right, the next comic is a complete perv, porn addict. We know about those around here. Chronic masturbator, alleged rapist, alleged. He has a credit score of 468, never been to the dentist. He's also a loving father and husband, though. So put your hands together for the Mill City bad boy, J.R. Whiton. Shocker.
Hello. Hey. How's everyone doing tonight? Awesome. Everyone have a good day today? Yeah? Yeah, good. Mine started off pretty crazy. I left the house nice and early this morning. I went to go get my morning cup of coffee. Then on the way home, I decided to drive by the pride and joy of Cowlitz County, Lake Sacagawea. And it's a good thing I did, because I ended up saving a young gal there from being raped. How'd you do that? I changed my mind. All right, open with a rape joke. I like you guys. Now I'm going to tell you why it's not a good idea to masturbate using Vicks Rub. First and foremost, it hurts. In theory, it sounds right. You know, tingly sensation all over your cock and balls. But in this case, theory and applied don't match up. Not even close. And God be with you if you get it near the top of the fireman's helmet. That is a pain you do not want to know, trust me. Second, it's not water-based. Why is that important? Because when your shit's on fire and you jump up on the counter and you're straddling the sink, washing the living fuck out of your magenta mushroom, Irish Spring ain't gonna cut it. Also, it looks a little strange to the wife and kids when dad comes running out of the bathroom screaming, grabs a bottle of dish soap and runs back in. That one's autobiographical. And last, even if you do have dish soap, it still doesn't get all the Vicks off. For some reason, the cock soaks up the Vicks just like a sponge. Also, try explaining to your wife why her vag is on fire. Even though I had washed and repeated several times that day, when my wife wanted sex that exact same evening, I wasn't about to say no. We've been together almost 10 years and have 2 kids together, so if we have sex more than 3 times in a year, it's a fucking miracle. So, when she hopped on top and noticed how easily I seemed to just glide right in, she had a puzzled look on her face that was soon followed by screaming and a burning sensation that was oddly similar to the one I had experienced earlier on in the evening. But of course I played it cool. I was like, what's wrong? And she was all, oh, my vagina's on fire. Now at this point, did I admit my guilt? No. Instead, I accused her of being a cheating whore and bringing an STD into our marriage bed. Good times. So, in case you couldn't tell by that last joke, I'm awfully fond of masturbating. It brings me great pleasure, but it can also bring great embarrassment. Like, one of the most embarrassing times in my life was when I was 14, and my dad walked in on me playing 5-on-1. I'd been sitting there enjoying Entertainment Tonight's coverage of the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and I was very careful with my strokes. The reason being, they had this guy that was there covering the event as their correspondent. So the girls would come out on stage and I would be all, and then the dude would come on and I'd hit the brakes real quick. And that guy would be all, I want you all to stay tuned, because coming on next, Heidi Klum is coming out in a two-piece jewel encrusted that is just simply fabulous. And the reason I was doing it that way is because earlier on in that week, I told a buddy of mine about an incident where I had been staying up late watching scrambled HBO and just praying to God that some boobs would come into focus. And they did. And when they did, I go into fist of fury mode, just trying to hurry and finish. And right as I'm getting ready to cross the finish line, it cuts to a guy's butt. And at that point, though, I'm like, no, it's too late. And so my buddy who I told this to, he was like, yeah, dude, you're going to watch that shit. That happens too much. It's going to turn you gay. And so that guy's words were stuck in my head anytime they would cut to this dude correspondent. And it wasn't because I'm scared of gay people. It's just because I love titties and I didn't want that to change. And so I'm sitting there watching the event, just going to town, and in walks the old man. Shock and disappointment plastered all over his face. And if that wasn't enough, he felt it necessary to sit down next to me on the bed and explain to me what I was doing was a sin, and that if I didn't ask for forgiveness, I was going to go to hell. Hence, taking this from an awkward experience to a deep-cutting emotional scar. You know, there is a silver lining, though, to this cloud. When I was 28, I'm on my way home and I stop in at my parents' house to pick up my laundry. And I walk in the front door, and there's the old man turning his dick into hamburger. After throwing up on my mother's azaleas, I look at him and I go, "Who's going to hell now, bitch?" Oh, how the mighty have fallen. You know, some people think I'm a freak. And that's because I kind of have a difficult time getting hard without first laying all by myself in a dark room with nothing but the light from the hallway shining in under the door. And then my wife has to sneak in and creep up behind me and shove her hand down the front of my pants and whisper softly in my ear, "This is just our little secret." Some people say that's weird, but really that's not my fault. My Uncle Johnny ruined me when I was 9. By the way, Uncle Johnny, glad you could make it this evening. Just a week out of the joint. Everyone, Uncle Johnny. Now, I know this is awkward, Uncle Johnny, but I want to apologize. I know I've really let myself go over the years, and I'm not the sexy 45 pounds I used to be. Uncle Johnny, everyone. God, my life sucks. That ain't no lie. You know, shit's gone downhill when even your dreams are pathetic. Like, I don't have sex dreams anymore. And the last time I did, I dreamt this prostitute had moved in directly across the street from me. And my wife and kids were leaving to go have lunch with her mom. And as soon as their car went over the horizon, I bolt for the prostitute's house. I get over there, and she's waiting for me in the front doorway, wearing nothing but an open silky robe. And she has me follow her upstairs to her bedroom. She takes off the robe, jumps in bed, and motions for me to come and join her. So I tear my clothes off, jump in bed right next to her, and before I can do anything, she looks at me and goes, business before pleasure. So I roll over, grab my wallet, open it up, and no money. Then I wake up. You know how fucking pathetic that is? I can't even score in a dream. And I'm also broke, just like real life. But then my dreams went from pathetic to straight up depressing, when my lack of sex dream turned into a masturbating dream. Yeah, I'm even dreaming about masturbating. I dreamt that my wife had left for work, and this was in the good old days before we had kids, so I have the house completely to myself. So at this point I think, man, this would be a perfect time to visit the old porn stash. So I go and grab my favorite DVD, Star Dick 9, The Next Penetration, pop it in the DVD player, and proceed to give myself a wanking I shan't forget. I'm just getting ready to come, and I look down, and everything's going normal. My head is expanding, just like a cooking ballpark Frank. My urethra is opening up, just like the door to a missile silo that's getting ready to launch a nuke. Yeah. And then I hear the wife's car pull into the driveway. So rather than get to finish in my dream, I'm frantically pulling my pants up, eject the porn out of the DVD player, pop Tombstone in instead, stash the DVD, jump on the sofa, and start pushing down on my boner. Right about then, she opens the door and walks in, and then I wake up. Now, as if it couldn't get any worse, she and I are laying in bed the other morning, and she starts bawling hysterically in her sleep, which I found to be disturbing. My slumber. And she rolls over, then she fucking elbows me. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? And she's all, I dreamt you cheated on me. You were in a hot tub full of young girls with big titties, and you fucked all of them like a big orgy. And now, because I'm a sensitive fella, I roll over, start stroking her hair, and I whisper lovingly into her ear, why can't I have your dreams? Why can't I dream of a hot tub full of titties, and you can dream about coming home early on your lunch break to find me on the sofa watching Tombstone? Man. On to the poop joke. You ever take a shit so big, when you're done, you've got postpartum depression? You know what I mean? Because it's a lot like giving birth, you know? Yeah, you know, you've been carrying it around all day, so you've got time to establish that bond. And then you've been feeling it grow and been nurturing it all day there inside of you. And then it's time to get rid of it. And so the bathroom sounds a lot like a delivery room to the people walking by, because you're in there all, yeah! this thing out of me. Oh. And then you squeeze your sphincter and cut the umbilical cord. And if you're like me, you get up and you stare at it in admiration. It's so beautiful. You see those two pieces of corn right there? It has my last night's dinner's eyes. But then the postpartum sets in. You realize it's no longer inside of you. So then you do like any other proud parent does. Snap a picture in order to capture the moment and send it to all your friends. Yeah, I'm the only one who does that. All right. Has anyone seen that new movie, The Conjuring? No? Yeah, me neither. I saw the previews to that and I was like, fuck that. Yeah. That's because spirits and supernatural shit freak the fuck out of me. And it wasn't always that way. There was a time when like I used to be on the fence if that shit was even real. Until I went over to a friend's house and played Ouija board one night. You know, we're in there playing Ouija, and I remember all the shit on the wall started shaking like I was in the middle of an earthquake. And then if that wasn't enough, the next guy decides to get up there and ask the spirit to identify itself. I remember we all started hearing children's laughter, so we ran back to the back door, and we could see the silhouette of a kid on a swing. It was freaky as shit. At that point, I was like, dude, fuck this. Unless we're playing Scrabble next, I am out of here. But there's a lot of people who say that they can sense the spirits of like people who've passed on and their dead relatives and friends. And like they can always tell that they're always watching them. And that made me wonder, if we've got the spirits of dead relatives constantly watching us, what do they do when I masturbate? Do they leave the room? Do they at least turn around? Or is that same look of shocking disappointment on my dead grandfather's face? Oh, maybe it's hereditary. I just know that if it is, that shit's ending with my dad, because I'm a knocker. If my son has his bedroom door closed, I'm gonna knock before I enter. And if I'm approaching the door and it sounds like he's in there committing an assault on a friendly weapon, all I'm gonna do is get up to the door and yell, "Whatever you do, son, don't use Vicks rub. That shit stings." Just spit in your hand, boy. And dinner's done when you're ready. All right, that's it, folks. Good night.